Iko Nini. So kuna hii video nilibaki nimecheki. Ni video ilikuwa ni J3 inaitwa Mood. So Mood ilikuwa imefika Masai za Coast and I can only imagine like the amount of traffic rules that matatu flouted between Nairobi and Mombasa, because you know, of course, the matatu is untouchable. Na matatu ni untouchable juu ya nini? Ni untouchable juu ina belong to mtoi wa Ruto, George Ruto. And hapa Nairobi tunachiki yule na vuruga, like they don't follow any traffic rules. And that's the interesting thing, because we say that the fish rots from the head. So if a member of the president's family is not following traffic rules, how are commoners supposed to follow the same traffic rules? So I wanted to watch video yenyewe because kitu limbama na hii video ni as soon as wasoli realized ni Mood, they had something to say, because mathri yenyewe I don't know where it was coming from. I najua kuna kwa na stories of North Coast na South Coast. I don't know which side it was coming from, but ili end up ikiwa stuck at the ferry. Wacha tusikize.
Wewe mali ya wantamu hiyo bana.
Kunya siku zomo.
Kuisha.
George Ruto atarekebisha, wewe toa gari wewe. George Ruto atatengeza, toa gari wewe. Utamwambia ulivuka ferry ndio maana.
Achekio. Utamwambia ulivuka ferry ndio maana. Yeah, so hii material kwa coast and you can see like how low that nini is, and yeah, inaitangwa nini nyi wasoma gari niambieni. I don't know what that's called, the way your body the way iko decked, I guess. So yes, so that was George Ruto. So I can only imagine like what was it doing in Mombasa, how many traffic rules did it flout both in Mombasa and Nairobi, I don't know. Lakini saizi nataka tubonge juu ya the father. So the father kitu moja ni saizi yuko Masai za Angola, and but kitu ni bamba ni there's always news and the news that comes out. So before tuangalie even the news that came out like yesterday on Monday, let's go back to Sunday. So Sunday of course kulikuwa na buda moja naitwa Narendra Raval. And Narendra Raval alikuwa anasema that he'd want Ruto to run this country for 20 years. And I remember like I reacted to it and I was talking about the fact that this is not a laughing matter. And but I didn't go into details za kujua like I know that this person does business with Ruto. That's the only reason why he's that happy with Ruto. But I didn't know to what extent. Till nione hii post ya Nyakundi kwa meandika, when you're a big beneficiary of the housing billions and a key player in price fixing, you'll obviously keep kissing power non-stop. Devki has been protected through every scandal from cartel behavior to tax issues and still dominates the same sectors the government pours money into. This is not love for the country. It's love for contracts, monopolies and guaranteed payments. Even the Gupta were bigger than Devki and they still fell. Always remember that. And then a few articles zikakuwa shared. One of the articles ilikuwa ni secret WhatsApp reveal price fixing in steel farms. So mse tunajuaga anakuwaga like the chairman wa Devki group. So tukiangalia the list itself, kuna steel manufacturers that lost appeal. Kulikuwa na Tononoka rolling mills, alafu number 2 ni Devki steel mills. Alafu what did the article say? The article said that secret emails, WhatsApp chats and minutes of meetings helped the competition watchdog to crack cartel-like behavior among top players in the local steel industry, which saw 9 firms fined for fixing prices, restricting output and revising the size of products. The uncompetitive behavior was laid bare in a legal battle between the Competition Authority of Kenya as the steel makers sought to avoid a fine of 338.8 million for making illegal engagements to control prices and interfering with product sizes. The CAK investigation exposed a trove of emails, WhatsApp chats and meeting records. So yes, and yeah, so this is the guy that the president is protecting. And apart from that, pia anajulikanaga for tax avoidance. Ama should we say tax evasion. So kulikuwa na hii letter ilikuwa ni for the managing director Semtech Limited. Ilikuwa ni we refer to our demand of blah blah blah, November, in which we demanded and paid taxes on importation of project goods imported for the clinkerization plant project in Elgeyo Marakwet County. So kulikuwa na hiyo from nini, alafu pia there's another one from the National Treasury ilikuwa ni unsettlement of VAT obligation for Semtech Limited and Devki Steels. This was on the 2nd of October 2024. So this guy, he's not like what the president wants us to believe, because if you're making all these billions and you're not paying your taxes, your fair share of taxes, because people forget that this person is someone who's richer than like maybe 40 million Kenyans combined. This is just one person. So if he was to pay his fair share of taxes, that alone is enough kufanya economy iswe in one way or another. But nakuwaga very interesting how these people, they know that just because they're the president's friend, they can get away with anything, and that's what's sad. J story yote. So umse hii time yote ile anatuhype, anatuambia vile he'd want the president to run the country forever. This is the same thing that maybe we'd say if the president was helping us not pay tax, and the president was helping us have a monopoly, and history yake sasa tukicheki like he's the main steel supplier kwa the housing project. You can try and imagine how many houses are being built. So how many houses are being built? Let me put it this way. Right now, the houses that are being built that have not even started being built. Acheki, like ziko budgeted for, lakini hata hazijaanziwa. So try and imagine how much money this guy is going to make if he's the main steel supplier. And this is the reason why he feels like Ruto should run the country forever. Why? Because he did not maybe have this contract under Uhuru. Now he has the contract under Ruto, and he feels that. But now, still tukitoka kwa the friends of Ruto, let's look at State House. So Ruto lately has been telling us that he wants Kenya to be a first world country. And unasikia yule musemaga, shida ya Kenya ni priorities. Kenya has very twisted priorities, and there is no way you can tell me we can become a first world country with such twisted priorities. So for example, State House has overspent its budget by 125%, using 4.3 billion instead of the planned 1.9 billion in the first 3 months of the current financial year. So if you know how financial years work, they work halfway. So from half of this year to half of next year. So far, they've spent over 125% more. Yes? 125% more. So you start to wonder, like, what's happening at State House? Why are they spending all this money? And this is about priorities. 4.3 billion can be used to do so much. But let's say you're 1.9 billion now. If they just spent that and left us the 2.4 billion. 2.4 billion can be used to do a lot of stuff. But what do? They spend it on bullshit. I'm sure maybe ni curtains, I'm sure ni carpet, and never forget, the prices are inflated. I wouldn't even be surprised that it's Devki and a supply steel ile inatumika kwa the renovations. That's the bullshit that we deal with. And you wonder, like, why do we need to renovate the office? Just do your fucking job. Just do a good job. It's not your house. And these are the things that scare me, because when I see a president like repairing a State House 2 years before an election, I feel some type of way. I feel like he's telling me something without telling me something. And that's scary, because you can't repair this for the next guy. You're not repairing this for Kalonzo. You're repairing it because you know something that I don't know. Otherwise, naturally, you'll be like, you know what, I'd rather secure my re-election. So this extra money, let's use it for 1, 2, 3. But there's this thing about African leaders and luxury. They want to be surrounded with opulence. Unajua, ile time wako pale ndani, utapata kuna even mtu wa ku taste coffee, ama mtu wa ku taste tea, na kumwambia this tea, although it originated in Kericho, it was distilled. Is tea distilled? I don't know. To me, the right word. In Portugal. Then an African leader kuznakuwaga full of shit. Yes, this is from Portugal. Tunakuwaga na nonsense where we are so fascinated by foreign things. Yeah, nacheki. Look at a lot of stuff. Caviar, sushi. Sushi nakuwaga ni raw fish. Why should I enjoy raw fish? Why? Because the Japanese do it now all of a sudden. Because do you know wasanafaa kuwa nafurahia raw fish? Ni unaenda kwa slum, mtu anakuambia sina pesa ya mafuta, so acha nikule hii samaki japikwa. Inafaa go, oh shit, yeah. But all of a sudden, until you work so hard to make money just to go and eat raw fish because it's the Japanese a delicacy, and that makes you somehow special because it's wachiki tunakuwaga fascinated na just foreign culture kabisa. Ukipelekea the same Japanese ugali yako atakuwa zile za nini kusao wanakuwaga they are happy with what they have and happy with so yes hapo nimedigress kidogo but yes so that was State House. What about nini watu wengine wanaitwa nini, the office of the deputy president. Ilikuwa the office of the deputy president has overspent its budget by 50%, using 1.1 billion instead of the planned 743 million in the first 3 months of the current financial year. And I think this has also happened courtesy of the campaigns that are ongoing. So this guy is spending more time campaigning out here than he's spending in the office. So yes, this is what's happening, and all these things are one of the reasons why I feel like for us to dream ya first world inakuwaga fun, because in the first world they believe in every single coin has to be spent in a certain way, and we don't do that. So hii ni yangu hata haikuwa wacha tuangalie what Ephraim alikuwa ameandika. Ilikuwa ni just 4 months into the financial year and State House has exhausted 81% of its annual budget. Even the DP's office has exhausted 63% of its budget. A fish rose from the head. Is this how you create a first world country? Alafu akabaki ameseti hapo State House. The budget for the year was 7.6 billion and it's already spent 6.2 billion. That's the money that has come from the exchequer. So this is the situation that we have. So we are busy wasting money, and then we turn around and claim we're going to be a first world country. First world countries, like even the taxpayers' money is sacred. That's the reason why they become the countries that they become. Everything is respected. In Kenya, as long as the president or the whatevers are living in luxury, no one cares about the taxpayer. Inakuwaga we taxpayer we kwenda huko, unateta kwa nini? This is the point unapataga watu kama akina nani, akina what is this person called? You'll get the likes of Kimani Ichung'wah akituambia amtumiagi airport, why you complaining? Au unapata akina Karen Nyamo wanatuambia you don't pay taxes, why you complaining? So that's the reason, because we are in a situation whereby taxpayers' money is not respected, and when you question why it's not respected, you are told that you don't pay your taxes, and everyone in Kenya pays their taxes. How? Angaliaga vitu zetu. Ushaangalia your electricity bill and see how messed up it is. Najua people in the informal sector utapata now mtu amepatiwa hustler fund ya 500 shillings and wanasema a file returns at the end of the nini. If 500 shillings somehow is supposed to come up with this master plan that no one has, where he's supposed to turn this 500 shillings into an income full of profit every month. And people, kitu nibambaga ni you find even reasonably educated people are there saying that it's possible to start with 500 shillings and then no, it doesn't work like that. Business is very hard. Making 10% annually is very hard. Making 20% super hard. To make from 500, I need to turn this into how much for me to survive? Let's say I need to turn this into how much is this? Let me say I need to turn the 500 into 5,000 shillings. Yes, so that means I need to make how much? 900% profit. How is that supposed to work? How? This is bullshit. And this is bullshit that I don't know how to even put it. But it's fed to us. And we end up just believing that this is actually possible. So nambwa, kama si 900% profit, let's say we are targeting, is it maybe you're targeting 30,000? So you're supposed to make 2,950% profit. Like how? How is that supposed to happen? So yes, that's the situation that we have hapa Kenya. And I don't even know what to think. I don't know what to think. But What I know is it's bullshit. Iko Nini, nimeinterrupt show kukuremind juu ya LemFi. Kama uko US ama Canada na unataka kutuma do Kenya, register kwa LemFi ukitumia promo code Iko Nini. Hii itakuguarantee $20 cashback on your first $100 transaction. Alafu pia time una register, make sure umetick the 2 check boxes za notifications ndio ukireceive info about amazing offers through newsletters. Na pia usijali, LemFi hawatumagi hizi letters za, yani unajua like ma messages za kipumbavu. Pia usisahau, every time una transact $50 and above una earn points. Na the more una transact, the more points you earn and you can redeem them as cash ile time unatuma pesa. Alafu pia kitu nanibamba kabisa ni saizi ukitumia LemFi unabaki umelipa pay bills na till numbers directly. That means unabaki umehandle bills za maparo wako ukiwa hizo maside za States ama maside za Canada. Alafu pia we mwenyewe as a LemFi user baki umetafuta ile button imeandikwa get USD $20, ubaki umeinvite mabeste zako, na ukiinvite mabeste zako on their first $100 transaction unapata pesa ngapi? $20 cashback. So unangoja nini? Baki umechangamka, ingia LemFi. LemFi, international payments for everyone. Iko Nini. But now, from hapo, wacha nicheki story ingine. So story ingine ilikuwa interesting sana, nimekuwa nikifuatilia ni on Sunday night, Moses Kuria was sending a warning to Ruto. And I found this warning to be interesting because it's interesting because Moses Kuria is one of those people who believe if he's on the winning side, then fuck justice. But as soon as he's on the other side, now justice all of a sudden becomes essential. So he was busy warning Ruto. And I remember looking at this warning and just saying, shut the fuck up. Don't tell us Kenya sio Tanzania. You're one of the people who used to ask Uhuru Kenyatta to kill Kenyans who are protesting. So you can't then turn around and tell us Kenya sio Tanzania. The only difference between Kenya and Tanzania ni Kenya hatukuua to that scale. But kuua tuliua. Okay, but wacha tusikize.
Mimi nataka kuambia serikali na sana hapa nimwambie Rais William Ruto directly. The international community is watching.
Okay, number one, the international community does not give two shits. The international community cannot help anything. If the international community could do anything, what happened in Tanzania would not have happened, and after it happened, something else would have happened. If you know what I mean. That basically what I'm trying to say is, after Samia did all the atrocities that she did, she's still going to get away with it. Why? Because the international community is just this, it's useless. Yeah. Imekuwa hapa Kenya ikiona atrocities. What has it ever done? Like last year kulikuwa na protests. They blamed the Ford Foundation. They blamed what? Ulicheki international community could do anything. They won't do anything. So this is nonsense. But tuendele.
How we conduct these elections is of interest to the international community.
Why? Kenya did a repeat election where Uhuru won, I think, 96%. What did the international community do? Those people who believe in they believe in constitutionalism and all that, and democracy specifically. Did they do anything? No, they didn't. So it's interesting that this guy is learning this right now. Tuendele.
Sasa mnafikiria sababu Suluhu amefanya vile amefanya, atatuweza kwenda hiyo ya Tanzania. Jamani, Wakenya si wa Tanzania. Wakenya si wa Tanzania. Msijaribu hapa.
Utajaribu na utapenya. This is very ironic coming from someone who's put Kibaki's photo kwa profile. Because the reality is, this is one of the reality wa Kenya takaki kusikia. But Kibaki rigged an election. It was the first one term. And with that, he opened up a Pandora's box that told incumbents that as long as you control the police, you can rig an election. So, I think this is the reason why ulicheki mtu kama Tuju. When Tuju went for the interview and he was praising Moi, he was like, Moi stepped down, Moi did this. Or even if you see the likes of Majuzi tulikuwa hapa na Kibe akipraise Moi, that's it. Because Kibaki alifanyaga ikakuwa, just because you lost an election, if you're an incumbent, you can stay in power, especially if you can justify it. Look at how much Devki was praising Ruto. Now try and imagine if it's a section of Kenyans who are praising Ruto. They'll be like, no, what? He's lost the election, but he's better for Kenya than this other guy who's won, so let him continue. Alafu the rest are like, oh, peace is very important. There's nothing more important than peace, then it's God's will, the voice of the vote is the voice of God, to do all that nonsense. It's happened here in Kenya. This guy was on that other side. So right now, if I was to quote Kibaki, suddenly clever, he becomes suddenly clever. So do I hope that Ruto does not pull some shit? Yes, I truly hope. Am I 100% sure Ruto is going to lose? No. Kumekuwa na hii shit ya Gen Zs, you are waiting for that final moment before they register. Yeah. That has been happening, and at the same time tribal politics has been coming back. So according to me, we are back to default settings, and if you are back to default settings, I don't know who's actually going to win. It becomes a very different equation. Wacha tuendelee.
It will not be usual. It will not be business as usual in Kenya if you try those monkey games here in Kenya. Kenyans' level of tolerance for nonsense is at its lowest.
Okay, I think it's never been lower than 2007. That was the lowest that we reached. The whole country went into whatever, and Kenyans still accepted and move on. I think that's when the phrase accepted, move on came into being. And we moved on. I think after moving on in 2007, I don't think there's anything I always sit down and I'm like, Kenya cannot move on beyond this. This can never happen in Kenya. This can never happen. I'm like, it's been happening, man. Like ile ujinga, this is the president that has killed the most. I'm like, no. The other time you ignored it. But it's been happening. An election happened in Tanzania. Suluhu alijaza very many mortuaries. I don't know how many, but nasemangana 10 mortuaries Suluhu alijaza. An election happened in Kenya. Kibaki alijaza at least one mortuary. That was a city mortuary. Understand? So these things have happened. It's just that they've been ignored and they've been justified. He was good for the economy. He was good for... So kuna mtu justify, Ruto is good for inflation. There's always a justification when you're on the winning side. Until you realize that, no, this is not right. This is wrong. Yes, this should never happen. And by the time you realize that this should never happen, it's too late. Tuendelee.
Kenyans cannot tolerate nonsense. Hizo shenanigans ati mnaweza kuiba kura. Jameni, how did UDA come to power? Tulianza huko Juja, by election ya Juja. Mimi nikasimama na chama against Jubilee, ruling government that time. Uhuru Kenyatta was his MP, nilikuwa mbunge yake. Nikamshinda huko. Walikuwa wamesema wataiba, hawakuiba. Tulikatoka hapa tukaenda Kiambaa. Nika withdraw kandidati wangu, nika support wa UDA ndio tushinde. Mikakati yote ya kulinda kura ni mimi. Hata yule wizidoka mnajua ya kuiba kura ni ile niliwaonyesha. Na mnafikiria mnaweza kunishinda. Huko ya nyanyoko.
Check. The minute you admit ulikuwa unajua wizi ya kuiba kura, it's the minute you need to shut the fuck up. Yes, just because ulikuwa on the winning side and during that time it was okay to steal, does not mean that now you can lecture people on what's okay to do and what's not okay to do. So it's going to be very interesting. What I can say is never support injustice. Always hope for the fair. Like whoever wins, even if they are popular, or you like them or you don't like them, let them get the seat. Because in a situation whereby, let's say this happens, 2027 happens, and someone wins, and Ruto lets them take over. That's perfect, because that's what has happened. I'm putting lets them in quotes because this is Kenya. The police will always side with the person in power. They don't care about the civilians. Whatever happened in Tanzania, they'll be unleashed on the streets and watatudedisha. Hakuna, there are no two ways about it. It's been happening. So that happens. The right guy gets in. The person we voted for gets in. But in a situation whereby, let's say Ruto by some miracle makes Kenya better, alafu by 2027, Kenya is much better, kila kitu iko sawa, but we vote him out. And then since kila kitu ina work, all of a sudden he's supposed to continue. No, he's not supposed to continue. He's still supposed to step down. So all this nonsense, the economy was better, the economy is... No. It doesn't work that way. If people make a mistake, let the mistake be there. So yes, it was interesting kuona umsaki bonga hivi. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Okay. So hapo imemaliza na story ya nyokoa. Sijui hiyo maybe pelekea mamako huko. So yeah, this is what I'm going to say. So Moses Kuria, if you're there telling people that you taught these people how to steal votes, you can't then turn around and say that you're afraid of the vote happening. Nacheki. So, but the same Moses Kuria, of course, he's been walking funny. I know he walks looking very unhealthy. And there was also another video of him that came out still on Monday. Ile ikuwa inasemekana that alikuwa na bandage kwa kichwa na inasemekana that he had been attacked sijui by who. So and yeah, the picture just looked weird. Unacheki anatoka kwa gari alafu he's walking and he looks very whatever, like sickly. Alafu yeah, I think at some point unamwambia jo wewe ukiendelea kusimama uzabaki umeanguka, so kuja ukaliaka kitu plastic. I think inasemekana alikuwa ameenda kukampeni ya I don't know who, but akakuwa need by wa Modhede na watu wa Modhede, akakuwa attack na watu wa Modhede. So yes, this is my two cents about that, and I hope no one misunderstand my nini. I'm not saying that we should justify rigging. I'm just saying that rigging has happened before, and when it happened, a lot of people justified it, either through saying it was better for the economy, or through saying what. And with that, what happens is, as soon as you justify such stuff, you open up a Pandora's box. And the Pandora's box is that one of, when is it wrong to rig? Yes, if a president is doing well, in quotes, should he continue if the majority of the country say that he needs to go? No, he should not continue. But it happened once. And that's the day, Musamaga, that Kenyan democracy died. I don't know when, but just go look for your siku. Just go look for the day that Kibaki was sworn in 2007. That's the day that we lost faith in elections. A lot of Kenyans lost faith. And that's the day that any result that we get, we take it with a pinch of salt. And now when we hear the likes of Moses Kuria saying that they know how to rig an election, wanajua vile kuiba kura, we start adding 1 + 1. And if you see him panicking and saying that Kenya si kama Tanzania, what will Kenyans do? What will Kenyans do that Tanzanians could not do? They'll just go on the streets with their empty hands. Wakienda far sana itakuwa ni with a stone in the hand. But the government, on the other hand, side will show up with bullets. That's what's been happening. Najua, I can only talk about what I've witnessed. And I can say that's what's happened in 2007, 2013, 2017 twice, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. I've seen situations whereby the government just stands on its people. It's happened here in Kenya. In TZ, it's happened on a bigger scale. Elections. Now try and imagine, if just protesting the finance bill, hiyo ndio violence ulitolewa. Now try imagine elections, especially if the country is 50-50. The only way Ruto atatoka, if that gap is so big that he can't rig. So what I'm going to say is, kwa nataka Ruto atoke and wasipotoka, your world is going to crash. If you've not registered as a voter, pia wewe respectfully you need to shut the because kama hujaregister unataka nyokoa ni amtoe ama unataka nani amtoe. So yes, good morning. Iko Nini.